I have sketched out this lemon, and I plan on painting it with my Faber-Castell Albrecht Dürer watercolor pencils. I have grabbed out a handful of pencils in varying yellows, a orangish red for shade, and then for the rosemary here, I think it's rosemary, some greens. And I don't know if the yellow is going to do, or the white's going to do anything, but we'll see. So we're going to give this a try in my sketchbook today, but I also have this here in case I want to get a different color. I have found recently that life likes to throw me lemons. Financial lemons. So we're going to paint my financial lemons today. Like, every time I turn around, there is another lemon. So we're going to paint them. I have sped up the video so that it won't take the entire 45 minutes. I'm not sure if this would have been a good one to leave real time or not, but since it's pencils, I don't know, I felt like I wanted to speed it up. Plus, I kind of rambled in a couple areas, so that was another reason for the choice of doing a time lapse. I'm starting by adding in the yellow, and it's the two different color yellows, and then I'm going to call it, actually, I have the pencil right here. It is called Sanguine. It's kind of like a burnt orange color, maybe a burnt salmon. I'm not sure the best way to describe it, but in the reference photo I found on Unsplash, the shadows looked kind of brownish. And so I was trying to get that without actually making it brown. And I went through a little bit of a struggle with getting the right color. So I just thought, hey, I'll start with this and we'll go from there. So the yellow right there, oh my gosh, that was so vibrant. It was quite lovely when I added water to it and started liquefying it. And then that burnt salmony orange color, it really does look nice, but it's just not quite dark enough. So I'll attack that in a little bit. But for now, I'm just working on getting that first base layer added and liquefied and spread out to see what my next steps should be. The colors that I chose, oh, and right there I'm saying that I used a micron pen to sketch out the lemons. The colors I chose were cadmium yellow, Naples yellow, dark Naples ochre, earth green yellowish, pine green sanguine, I don't know how to say that, and Pompeian red. I really liked all these colors together. I think that they complement each other really well. And I'm using each of those colors in this. The medium yellow, or the Naples yellow, I didn't use as much as the other two, but I did use it. I think I used all of them. Now I'm going to fill in the segments of the lemon, and this is going to be a process. I'm starting out again with that first base layer, and I'm going to keep building it up with texture. In this section, I got a piece of scrap paper out, and I'm trying to see how I want to increase the intensity of those shadows, and I decided I just needed to add some green. I started with the lighter green because I didn't want to go too dark too quickly. I hesitate with that. So that is going to be a little bit of a struggle here. It's always a struggle for me for some reason. It is what it is. I'm learning to live with it. I'm learning. I'm always learning. Even when I don't want to, I'm typically learning. And I shouldn't say it like that. I want to learn. Sometimes I don't want the hassle of having to think things through too far and learn, but each painting is really and truly a learning experience, whether you intend it to be or not. So here I'm adding a little bit of that green into the segments of the lemon too, because I want to spread that color out. I don't want it just in one or two areas. I kind of want it to be cohesive throughout the painting. Even though it's a tiny painting, it still needs to be cohesive. It still needs to all work together. So, I'm spreading the love with that green. Hopefully you can see that even the addition of that tiny bit of green, it has deepened that shadow a bit. It's not quite there yet, but it will get there. I really like this method of getting the color off the pencil, just using a damp brush and working with the tip of the pencil. It works fantastic for just getting a small amount that you can place exactly where you want it. Okay, now I'm bringing in the darker green. That green was definitely going to be in the painting on the rosemary, so I thought it would be fine for adding it here in the shadows, and I love it. I wasn't quite sure how I felt about it at first. Looking at it on the page in front of me, I didn't love it. Looking at it on the screen for where my camera was recording, I totally did. Sometimes you just need to look at it from a different angle, or maybe take a picture of it with your phone and look at it on your phone. Sometimes people have recommended getting a mirror and looking at it through the mirror, so it's kind of it's flipped and you can see it from a different angle. You can also flip the photo that you've taken on your phone. If you edit, you can usually flip it, and that just gives you another way of looking at it, and it might help you see if something is crooked, if something is a little wonky, if the color isn't quite right, if the shadows aren't quite right. It helps me anyway with that. But I really like having the computer, the monitor in front of me, showing me in addition to what is on the desk in front of me. It's just really, really helpful. And here is the addition of the green to the rosemary. I really hope that's rosemary, since I keep saying it. I think it is. Is it? Is it? I don't know. I'm not going to look it up. We're just going to keep calling it rosemary. Karen's Financial Lemons and Rosemary. Ugh, financial lemons. So first my cat got sick. No explanation of what's wrong with him. They tested everything. He's fine. He was just having some tummy problems, so we got him some medicine. He's doing much better now, but that was awful. A few days. I had to take him to the vet twice for blood work 2 different times. So that was an unexpected, financial issue. I'm adding some shadows to the surface of the table, by the way. And then next, I broke a crown that I've had for, I don't know, probably at least 6 years. I broke it eating a salad. Like, who breaks their tooth or their dental stuff with a salad? But I did, so there's that. I'm waiting to get that fixed. It'll be a couple weeks, I think, and that could be an interesting bill. We do have insurance, but it could be interesting because insurance isn't perfect. I wish it was, but it's not. And then we have some improvements to the house that we have to make. We didn't think we were going to have to do it, and then come to find out we do. And it's all adding up. It's just so frustrating, but we're in good health, except for the dental issue I have. But we're in good health. We're good, but it's gonna take some penny pinching a little bit here and there to make it work. So that means I'm not buying art supplies for a while. I'm gonna need to hold off. Thankfully, I have plenty. It's just the want monster can't get in there. Okay, now back to the painting. I am working on building up the layers in the segment of the lemon, and oh my gosh, I love it. I love it. Once I started adding that color right there, which is the dark Naples ochre. Oh, I think it's wonderful. It just really shows the segments, or the, what are those called? I guess the pulp. It really shows the individual pieces of pulp. And in the background, I had put it down kind of thickly in a few areas, and I decided it was too intense. And so I wet the areas and blotted it up with paper towel, and I like it much better now. It just isn't like quite in your face, but it accents the lemons a bit. So I decided to get a Posca pen, and I wasn't sure if I was going to love it. I just thought, let's just give it a try. And it wasn't really needed. It really wasn't. I think that if anything, I could have added a little bit of highlight to the yellow of those two lemons, the one at the left and one at the top, but I'm not going to now. The painting's finished. I'm not coming back to it. I think it turned out great. I love it. I love my financial lemons in the painting form. Don't love them in real life, but I love them in painting form. I think it turned out great, and it looks really good with the page next to it. So I'm happy. Thank you so much for joining me. I love that you were here. I hope you have a great day. Bye-bye.